This is Kendra.
And this is Brianna. Welcome to Camp Comparisons,
where she's in one camp and I'm in the other.
So today we have a special guest. As we talked about last episode, my husband is here with us today to record this episode.
And he has a name.
No.
It's more than Brianna's husband.
Hello, I'm Sean.
So, Sean, we have never had a guest before, so we're going to ask you our first guest question that we figured we should ask, which is, what's your, history with Percy Jackson?
Well, it started with road trips with my family. My sister Claire would read the Percy Jackson books out loud to all of us because we didn't have audiobooks.
Cool.
And
probably better than the audiobooks.
Indeed. Yeah.
That's cool. How old were you when that?
I was probably 7 or 8. So
cool.
I started young.
Yeah, you started younger than me.
I don't know.
I was
I was
20 something when they came out. 20 when they came out.
I probably started reading them when I was 9 or 10.
So you and me probably started reading them at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And then we were going to ask, I think, a second question,
who's your godly parent?
There you go.
I would say Hephaestus. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, adds up.
Working with all that stuff. Working with all that.
What were you
I was going to say muscle stuff, but then I was like, I don't know if that's what... Building things. There you go.
I guess that fits.
We don't know what our
things.
husbands do. We just call it muscle stuff.
Okay, good. So, yay. So I guess we're just going to talk and try not to talk so much that Sean doesn't have any time to say anything, right?
Yeah, which is what normally happens
In
when
life.
we talk around Sean.
We'll figure out how to give him time. Okay. Well, before we do the recap, I wanted to start out with a couple public service announcements. The first one is that I've discovered that usually when Brianna tells me something and I disagree with her, that she's right. And I just wanted to put that out there so that if anybody's wondering, wow, Kendra was wrong 3 times last episode. I just listened to our episode that went out last week, and I just listened to the whole thing, and I was like, I'm going to have to stop arguing with Brianna until I actually double-check myself.
Well, there's certain times, though, where I'm not sure about what happened in the book.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, I thought it happened this way. And you're
but
like,
when
no,
you're
it's right
sure
here.
of something...
Yeah. If I say,
you're
think,
right.
I think maybe, then I might not be so sure. But when I'm sure, I'm sure.
And the other thing was that I was reading this first part of the quest because so we ended last episode. Obviously they haven't gotten the quest yet, but I was reading this first part of the quest to get ready for this new season. No, not season, episode of the TV series. And I realized how much Percy and Annabeth in the books do argue and are kind of mean to each other. And I'm going to tell you, I realized what this was is we have read all these books, and so even when we go back generally and read book 1, we still have the same Percy and Annabeth in our head from the last book, which is, they love each other, right?
Right.
And so when I read it, normally I read it with almost in that same teasing tone because they tease each other like that.
Yeah, you're
books.
Thinking, oh, they're just playing.
They're just flirting with each other. So now that I read it, I was like, oh, yeah, she is kind of. So I do think that maybe the Annabeth in the TV series is more cold, like we said, than the one in the book. But now seeing that again.
That's just what you're reading, because you're reading and you're imagining her tone of voice. So if you're imagining her tone of voice to be like, oh, Percy, you're so stupid.
Exactly.
Then,
and what if Rick this whole time was trying to make Annabeth really cold in book 1 and we just didn't know that?
Annabeth was like, no, you're stupid, Percy. Yeah. Straight up.
And she's rolling her eyes and being giving him that stare that...
Yeah.
So maybe, anyway, so I was like, okay, fine.
And that's, again, exactly what I talked about last episode when I was saying, it's a slow burn. They really do have lots of times, even in book 4, where they are, fighting.
Yeah.
Fighting about Rachel or whatever. And, not very nice to each other. And that happens. That's part of their relationship.
Okay, good. So I'm just putting out there publicly that I had those 2...
realizations.
Thank you. So, we'll do the recap. Do you want to recap last... episode?
Yeah. What was last episode? I'm just kidding. No, we talked about Luke explaining his relationship with Annabeth, the whole capture of the flag thing, and then him being claimed by Poseidon. We spent a lot of time talking about how Annabeth was made to be the best warrior at camp and the best person that ever existed, and at least when it comes to glory and stuff, and how that's different from the
warrior
books.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then this one that we're going to talk about this next episode of the TV series, I just wanted to tell everybody it's chapter 9, chapter 10, and chapter 11, or the rest of chapter 9, chapter 10, and chapter 11 of the book series. Just in case
because
anybody wants to know.
In the books, the oracle scene happens in the same chapter.
Yeah, it literally goes right onto it. Yeah. So that's what covers the whole episode. Now we're not going to cover the whole episode in this episode.
Doubtful.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. So just to remind everyone that we spoil this whole season and the whole of book 1 in basically every episode. So be warned. But we'll give a bigger warning if we're going to talk about other books.
Yeah. Okay. So scene 1 is the oracle scene. In this one, it shows the attic. And I want to say just something I realized is whoever did the filming, like, I don't know the technical words for all this stuff, but they decided to really keep this show dark. Do you notice how many dark scenes are in these episodes so far?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like dark. Like if you try to watch it with sunlight outside your window, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
A choice.
Yeah, you definitely have to watch it at nighttime or, full blackout curtains. Anyways, so this is one of those scenes because it's like the attic. I really wanted to see all this stuff and it was hard because I had the time during the day to watch it. But they do show like glass jars with like pieces of like, I guess it's supposed to be monster parts because that's what it says in the books, right?
Yeah. It's supposed to be like a room that's just cluttered with
things from quests.
From old quests.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that the tradition was at the end of your quest or whatever, like after you finished the prophecy that the oracle gave you, maybe you would come and leave something that you didn't want. There's probably like cursed objects. There was probably like all sorts of crazy things.
There would have been a Medusa head if they followed this tradition.
Well, yeah, what are they going to do? Carry it around with them for the whole rest of the quest, though? Like, that's
It would be a great weapon.
Oh, I'm telling you, the best weapon.
Well, yeah, which is exactly why Percy in the show, I mean, I don't remember what he says in the book, but he's like, I killed Electo and I wasn't even trying.
Yeah,
I mean, which is funny because he technically was trying to kill her, but it's fine. But, like, his point is...
I think he meant he didn't have to put any effort into it.
Yeah, you could accidentally... Like, be like, you just turn too quickly and then your friends are
killed your friends.
You know.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, they did, like, concentrate on a horn. And I noticed, because I listened to a couple other Percy Jackson podcasts, that they were like, oh, that's they put his Minotaur horn in there. And I was like, I don't think his Minotaur horn is in the attic.
He keeps it with him, like, forever. Whenever he's at camp in later books, he always says, like, he's laying in his bed and he has this shelf of possessions and it's always, like, the horn and then like maybe something that Tyson made him. And
I didn't think it was that. I thought it was just some other like monster horn. Like
he keeps
not the
that's
not the only monster horn that's been pulled off a monster. Come on.
Yeah,
and plus, especially in book 1, he keeps it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the book itself, he even talks about bringing it into his cabin all alone with his
That's right. It's like his
stuff.
only stuff. Yeah. So it's not whether they meant to do that. Yeah.
It's my horn.
I still do. Even if they meant to do that in TV series, I'm going to go with the fact that it's not that horn. Because it shouldn't be.
But like I said, like, especially book 1, he keeps it with him, like, so much because it symbolizes his mom's sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, so there's no way he would just been like, I'll just plop it. Plus, this is his first time in the attic. So what do you give it to someone else and they put it up in the attic? Like, it's just...
He's like, oh, someone took my horn and brought it up here?
Yeah.
Maybe it was foreshadowing, showing that monsters can die more than once. And that was another Minotaur that someone else killed.
That would have been cool. If it was super clear like that would be even cooler. Like, Minotaur horn, like if it had a little label. Because they had labels. Yeah. Or like 3. 1968, and he's like, whoa. Labels. Because in the book, it talks about all these labels on the different things, which I thought would have been
like,
so
Percy,
cool.
I need you to look at every single thing carefully and then make us a list and then make sure that's in the book.
Yeah. Anyway, so that would have been cool if they did labels, but whatever. Here, why don't you tell about the rest of the scene?
Well, I just wanted to say that when he first walks in, and he says hi, and his voice breaks.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
I loved it. I was like, the teenage boy, the fear, just walks in, he's like, hi.
I know, and the break was so perfect. It makes you wonder if it actually happened, and they just like kept that cut because they were like, that was so perfect.
It was so good. It felt like...
Because he is the age that you're going to have squeaky Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Voice breaks.
13, right?
When he filmed those episodes, I think he was 13.
Yeah.
Although he's like 15 or almost 16 now.
Don't say that. That's sad.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
He says,
Halloween decoration.
apparently I'm supposed to get a quest from you, which is weird because you're a Halloween decoration. Yeah. And then the Oracle starts to move and he's like, oh, you seem busy. I'll come back later. Yeah. He's so funny.
It was perfect. I did like how they did that because it was so the Percy silliness that we like, you know?
Yeah.
Or whatever you call it. Silliness, so much as almost like sarcastic
That's the
humor.
kind of stuff he would be definitely thinking.
Yeah.
Would not say out loud.
I would just like to mention that the Oracle was very full. Like, she looked like she wasn't even a corpse or a skeleton at that point.
She looked like a very sunk-in hippie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's supposed to be like a skeleton with,
it's
not
supposed
really a
to be
skeleton.
like someone
it's a
tried
mummy.
to mummify her but did a bad job. Because he said that, like, the pieces of mummy or whatever, the pieces of, not toilet paper because that's a Halloween costume, but like whatever they used to mummify her, those pieces were like falling off and you could see the bones underneath and it was like super freaking creepy.
Did it really say that it had that kind of stuff on it?
Yeah, I always
I'm not going to say you're wrong.
It could be described later. There's lots of times he visits the Oracle.
Yeah, it could have been described later. So here it just says,
but it's like a poorly maintained mummy.
Yeah. So here it says, sitting on a wooden tripod, not a rocking chair, but whatever. The most gruesome memento of all time, a mummy. Not the wrapped in cloth kind, but a human female body shriveled to a husk.
Oh, so it doesn't even have...
She doesn't have that.
So, okay,
she wore
it's
a
tie-dyed...
that
wasn't even mummified properly,
No, it's more just like a human female body shriveled to a husk. Because remember, we find out later what happened to her.
Right, but something was done to preserve her, just it wasn't being wrapped in things because a normal human body decays differently than how
but
it's
she's
described.
alive.
Well, not
Kinda.
Really.
Okay, so she wore a tie-dyed
alive.
sundress, lots of beaded necklaces, a headband over long black hair. So she actually had black hair in the book. The skin of her face was thin and leathery over her skull, and her eyes were glassy white slits, as if the real eyes had been replaced by marbles.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, this can't be just like what a dead human looks like after however many years, because they would be way more decayed.
Absolutely. I just think it's magic. I think it's the fact that she's trapped in this body, and cannot die and cannot do anything really because of the curse on her.
Although, you know, in a later book, she does walk.
I know she does.
Yeah. So you're
but
right.
That was a special occasion.
Yeah, apparently.
I don't know why she left the attic, but they knew something was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess she's just not fully dead, but her body's so decayed that she just sits on a chair in an attic, and that's what she does all the time.
Yeah, she was almost like when she popped up, like when she sat up, I was like, this is like a horror film.
Well, honestly, the book version sounds even more horrifying than what they did in the show.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
But when you're reading something, you don't get the same thought.
I know,
the music
you can just
isn't the same. You can just
ignore
the scary stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So then the green mist comes out of her mouth, which is proper.
Totally.
However, when Gabe shows up, it's supposed to be Gabe and his entire poker party, but of course in this version of the show his poker party is online. They're all online.
He's playing himself. Yeah, we can show that.
So, and
I liked that they had Gabe talking.
Yeah.
Me too, because I thought it lightened the mood and it was funny, but in the book the voice that comes out of Gabe's mouth or the other guy's mouth is still the Oracle's voice.
Yeah, it was speaking in the raspy voice of the Oracle.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But it was great to hear it in his New York voice. Like, no complaints.
Yeah.
But in the TV series, they only show him speak at that time the first 2 lines, which is fine because in the book, when you hear all 4 lines, but when he goes down, he only tells the first 2 lines. So it's kind of like keeping you in suspense the same way.
Plus it's only like one scene later that you see the rest of it. Like when he's talking to Grover, you then see the rest.
That's true.
And then like Grover's like, why'd you pick me? And then it's like flashback. Yeah. And you get to hear. So it's not like at the end of the episode or something. They don't really keep you in suspense for long. But I remember the Oracle said those 2 lines and then he was downstairs.
And I was already impatient.
And you were like, what happened to like you're gonna fail what saves most of the end? And then
I thought they were just like not gonna put that in there.
I know. I just hope that I just hope that in season 2, the one thing you take from this podcast is remember
not to jump to conclusions.
At least till the end of the episode.
I don't know. I think I'm still gonna scream or yell or complain.
I'm not watching next season with you.
Oh, sad.
Every time.
I know, I'm so bad. I'm sorry. I'll try to do it more quietly. Okay. Well, it's interesting because I am listening to people who, like podcasters who are, I found a podcast that's actually comparing it, but they're like a podcast that compares like all books to their movies and TV shows, like everything. So it's just like, oh, then now Percy Jackson's here, whatever. Yeah. But they didn't watch them all before, so they're doing that like, oh my gosh. And then like, so they don't know that things have come up in later episodes. And I think that's kind of funny. So it's funny listening to them do it out loud like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many times have they said, Percy has no sword training?
Yes, that's happened several times. Like, I don't know what they're thinking. I'm like, oh, you're not going to figure that one out until the last episode.
And we've all been through that. Every time we fought, we were like, but how?
But how?
Because of what?
He did manage to kill a Fury before doing any training, though.
But keep in mind that all he did is she fell on him, and somehow when he was gripping the pen, he did something, and it came out, and it killed her. He did not do any... in the book he did.
Yeah.
No.
In the book he fought a little bit.
Once, and he didn't really know what he was doing.
I mean, I think that he dodged like one time. He dodged an attack. Chiron threw the pen at him, and by the time it hit his hand, it was already in a sword.
Right, and then she comes down and he just swung. So he doesn't really have any sword abilities.
I always like chalked it up to, in that case, she expected him to be completely defenseless, so she just wasn't on the defense. She was just on attack, and
she was on her way to attack him. And suddenly he has a sword that he didn't have before. So.
Yeah, and she wasn't expecting him to have anything to protect himself. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. You know, like Percy says,
12-year-old book series.
But like Percy says, like his ADHD is basically his like instinct for fights, like for these types of fights.
Makes it good for him to be on, and makes him good in fights.
Yeah, so like he does have like a natural ability that he's born with. It just needs to be like honed. And throughout the book series, he does every book. He's a better sword fighter and a better sword fighter.
Yes, but
still, he needed some training. Yes,
and we know he got some now, so we don't have to say that anymore.
Yeah, we do know that. Okay, so anything else about the Oracle you want to mention before we move on to the next scene?
Not really. That covered a lot of it.
Yeah.
So scene 2 is when they're suddenly outside in some kind of like ceremonial pick your quest.
Right. So later on, Grover calls it the selection ceremony, which is definitely not a thing that exists in the book. But let's give it a name. It's called the selection ceremony.
Yeah. So I just want to say this selection ceremony and what happens in the book are two entirely different things. So there's no comparison.
Very different.
There's no comparison on how this goes, except for by saying what was different.
Yeah. In the TV show, everyone's standing there. Chiron says that he's picked these people's, they're like the best that the camp has to offer. So it's not even a choice from every camper. It's just they're like, these are the best ones. I when they like breeze past Clarice, I'm like, oh yeah, like he's totally going to pick Clarice, right?
The point that Percy made for picking Annabeth was he wanted someone who he knew wasn't his friend. Someone who would continue the quest if he wanted to save his mom.
Yeah.
Clarice fits that bill way more than Annabeth does.
But Clarice is a bully.
Right.
And Annabeth is like, Clarice would like want to constantly aggravate and embarrass him. That's what she would want to do the whole quest. Like she would end up being more on revenge because she still hasn't gotten her revenge. Unfortunately, the end of that last trying to get revenge, he broke her father's spear. So like she's probably even more on revenge. And Annabeth wants the quest to win. I feel like sorry. I just feel like Clarice would be more interested in revenge.
Yeah, so I think that she would not stay focused on the quest. And I also think that with Annabeth, like he's saying that Annabeth would push him down the stairs or something if it meant the quest would succeed, where
I think Clarice would just push him
down the stairs, even if it would harm the quest.
Yeah.
Like, the difference. You're swinging too far in the opposite direction there.
Yeah. He knew enough about Annabeth at that point, talking to Luke, to like get that she would like. She also wants glory. She wants like. She would want it to be the right type of glory.
Yeah.
Definitely. Also, maybe for a normal selection ceremony, they do gather everyone in the camp. But for this one, he got the best of the best because Percy doesn't know everyone. He's very new to the camp. Someone who wouldn't normally go for a quest.
We wouldn't know because the selection ceremony.
And I don't also I don't know what normally
he got
happens.
to pick someone outside of the circle, so maybe Sean's right. Like, maybe in general you would get your choice of anyone, because he got to pick Grover.
Yeah, it doesn't
circle.
show how that conversation went, so we don't know if he just said, sorry, I'm not going to do it unless I can pick Grover, you know? But
yeah.
The thing is also, we don't know in the book what would normally happen. Well, I'd have to think about, like, future questions.
Because what they
what
know
normally
about this,
happens.
Yeah, because
because he walks out.
So Clarice goes on a quest in the second book.
Okay.
And they're around the fire when it happens. They're around the campfire, which, by the way, they don't show in the TV series, but there's like a magical fire that they do camp songs around every night.
Yeah.
And it, like, the flames burn different colors and different heights depending on the mood of the crowd. Anyway, so they're around the fire. And spoiler warning, skip ahead 45 seconds to avoid spoilers. Clarice gets given this quest, and she just gets to, like, she just told pick 2 people. We learned that every quest is supposed to have 3 people, no more, no less. That's like the sacred number for quests.
Okay, I know about book 2, but I was just trying to think, did she even pick anybody, or did she go on her own?
She tried. Everyone said no, so she brought a skeleton crew.
I don't know.
She got the skeleton crew on the way. Like when she found the
I'm pretty
ship,
sure she brought.
I would have to reread. So anyways, fine.
I think they might have died in the Sea of Monsters.
Oh my gosh, I don't think that's what happened.
No,
but gosh,
she said that no one wanted to go with her because it was too dangerous.
Wow, well, I'm so...
Anyways.
Okay, well, we're on the wrong book anyways.
That's not true, though, because Percy wanted to go with her.
True.
I know. Weird. Okay,
and so would have Annabeth.
We don't remember. She
must have picked 2 of her cabin mates.
She must have. We don't remember. It doesn't matter. The whole point is that in the book, as we know, he walks out, he sees Chiron. Chiron and Grover are already there, and he doesn't even ask Grover. Like, Grover and they both just assume that Grover's going to go, basically, because he knows that Grover needs to complete a quest with him in order to get a searcher's license. So of course he's going to take Grover.
So there's no question.
Yeah, and then he's like, and then there's that conversation of like, well, who would be dumb enough to want to go on this?
Who's going to be the third person with one of the big 3 who is just probably going to die the second he steps out of camp, and 2, it's like, you're going to have to go down to Hades, a place where no one returns from alive, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, like, the most ridiculous quest.
Yeah.
So, and no one even wants to be near Percy because they're treating him like he's cursed.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly. And also, like, we already knew about Hades in the episode we just finished, right? But in the book, it's the first time that they go, okay, it must be Hades, right? So that's like, this is the first conversation about Hades, and now Grover's like, oh no, I don't want to go.
He has to go underground.
Yeah, and satyrs don't like underground.
Yeah, because it all smells like monsters underground. Yeah. That's what we learn.
And then there's the Annabeth, who's like, you know, like, who would want to do this? And, you know, like, oh, of course it's Annabeth. What is it? Oh yeah, she became visible. She takes her hat off, right?
Oh my god, so she was there the whole time.
She was just there the whole time with her hat on.
I have to say, she's a little creepy with her hat sometimes. Remember in a different book when she's just standing on Percy's balcony while he's sleeping in her invisibility cap? Annabeth, you need to learn your boundaries with this cap. Knock on a door. Just knock on someone's front door. Don't be on their balcony.
Do we call it the invisibility cap or invisibility hat just because we're so used to Harry Potter and then invisibility cloak? Because I don't think they call it that at all.
I think that, yeah,
probably. I think that's just
they
Harry Potter in us.
Her hat.
They just say her Yankees cap. Yeah. They don't ever say invisibility
cap. Yeah, that's definitely us.
That's funny. But yeah, so she just pops up and she basically, and this is the first time she ever says seaweed brain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when she does it in the TV series, but in this time she says, I've been waiting a long time for a quest, seaweed brain. Athena is no fan of Poseidon, but if you're going to save the world, I'm the best person to keep you from messing up. And that's what she says.
That's such a cute line.
So Annabeth.
Yeah. But see, we're reading that like she's being cute.
I know.
Because we think that's so cute.
But she's actually being rude. And he says,
like, yeah.
And he says, if you do say so yourself, I suppose you have a plan, wise girl.
Yeah.
So this is like the moment where those things.
Yeah, I think you're so right. Like, I read that so flirty in my head, but if they said those exact lines in the TV show, how Annabeth and Percy talk to each other, I would be like, oh, God, they're fighting.
The part where it makes it kind of 50-50 is right after that it says that her face turned red. But is that from embarrassment or anger?
I think she was angry because then she says, do you want my help or not? Or she was like, wow, what a cute little...
It kind of goes either way.
Girl. But Clarice calls her wise girl.
Oh, yeah, no, that doesn't work then.
I don't know. I think that she's angry.
I know, it really depends on how you read it. And that's the thing is we all have our own imagination and we have no clue what Rick was actually thinking at this time.
Yeah, or maybe it was just a director's choice, you know... for these episodes. Because this is like the very last episode. Episode 3 is the last episode where there's like that intense coldness between them. because then we have the very end, which the end of this episode, like when they're talking in Medusa's basement, I never thought I'd say that would be a favorite scene of mine, but that is a favorite scene of mine when they like talk and like Grover like makes them handle everything.
Out, yeah.
They're so cute and it's just adorable. And there's like, that's when you see that first like real chemistry, I feel like, is in that moment between those characters.
Yeah. So I think we've mostly talked about this scene. The only thing else I wanted to say is in the TV show, this is where he tells them that the entrance to Hades is in LA.
Yeah.
That might also be in the... Yeah, I think both cases.
Yep.
It's here. And he's like, you have to go to LA. Because where else would the entrance to Hades be but Los Angeles?
It makes perfect sense. It is hell on earth.
Oh, Lordy. Hope we don't... Not to like, upset any Los Angeles people out there.
I think that they also agree it's hell on earth.
It's a little wild. It's a little wild.
You would think with Chiron knowing where it was, he could give more exact directions instead of them just kind of
No, but
wandering
Chiron
around.
is almost like Dumbledore in that he just like...
He's like, you gotta figure it out.
There's this, I mean, he's like sitting there knowing about a prophecy that the whole, like he's just not going to say anything about.
Which is also very Dumbledore. that's exactly what Dumbledore does too.
Yeah, it's all like, well, it will come to you.
Yeah.
I think... Well, okay, in Chiron's case, he has, to be fair, learned that too much knowledge does not go well. Like, even, like, when people try to go against prophecies, when people try to, like, having... Okay, like that famous prophecy where someone was told, like, your son is going to grow up and kill you and then marry your wife. This was a famous Greek prophecy, right? But the only reason that happened is because they heard the prophecy. Because when they heard the prophecy, they go, oh, okay, the second the kid was born, they shipped him off. So then this kid didn't even know. Trouble. The kid didn't know that was his parents. So he comes back to this kingdom. His dad's doing a terrible job as being king, so he kills him and then marries his mom. But he didn't know. He didn't do it knowingly. He wasn't like, oh, hey, what's up, mom? Let's get married.
Yeah, it goes back to like Voldemort. Like if Voldemort didn't go and attack Harry Potter, that whole thing would have happened.
Yeah, Harry Potter. Sorry. But yeah,
okay.
So it's like having too much information can cause more of a problem. So I just think that Chiron has learned this for the thousands of years he's worked with, demigods.
You think they would just like stop having prophecies?
But like they're also helpful if you go along with it.
Well, no, but what if you just go like, oh, the lightning bolt is stolen, let's go find it.
Well,
doesn't have as much excitement, I guess. We go into this scene 3 that I labeled Grover's manual labor. That is completely not in the book at all because it's just basically combining that whole picking who's in the quest.
Yeah. I did have one bit to mention in that scene, and it's Grover when he's scooping the poop says, "Man, what have you been eating?" And the horse neighs in annoyance, hinting that Grover's talking to him because he then responds with, "I'm not trying to offend you," or whatever he's saying.
It's a genuine question.
Yeah. Although he does sound like he's trying to offend him. And that's like your first little sign that Grover can talk to animals, which we get more.
Yeah, however, when Percy shows up, why can't Percy talk to the horse?
Or the horse is not talking to him.
The horse neighs in annoyance a second time when Percy's there.
Yeah, but I think that horse just wasn't trying to talk to him.
But
I'm making excuses now. Actually, I have no clue.
Yeah,
but
I don't
not
know. Is
one
Percy
time
not
in
going to
this
be able
entire
to?
Season has he talked to horses.
I mean, is it going to be?
But it has to come up. It has to come up because Percy cleans out some horses' stables in the later book.
Also, there's a famous Pegasus that he talks to all the time that has a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, but he's also
the transgender
always
Pegasus.
dry in the book. Maybe it's just one of those things.
No,
they can't do that.
No.
He's gonna discover his. See, that's the thing is they don't say father of horses when they introduce, but they can't take out the fact that he talks to horses. That would ruin.
And also, he doesn't talk to any sea creatures during the season 2, does he? But we need that for Bessie.
Now that the fact that we watched the Sea of Monsters movie recently in the middle of all this is throwing everything off for me. Like I'm like, well, what about the? Oh wait, we haven't seen the rainbow. What's it called? Fish yet?
Yeah,
rainbow pony.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it's.
Oh, can I just say something very random?
But they have to introduce those things. So I just don't know why they didn't do it in these little moments when they had time.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's random?
Very random. Like, so not even on Percy Jackson.
Okay.
But did you know that humblebee is another word in the dictionary for a bumblebee?
That's really cute.
And that just reminded me of Tyson. Okay.
Because you thought he would call
Tyson would be like, a humblebee.
Is it a smart and wise bumblebee?
No, it's just another word.
I don't know. It was just a very random thing. Okay, yeah, so he's obviously being punished because he told Percy that the mom was still alive when he was strictly told by Mr. D not to.
And then Grover is like, so who'd you pick? And then he's like, I picked Annabeth and you, or whatever.
Well, he basically says, I picked you. And he goes, haha, no, really. And he's like, no, really.
No, really, I picked you. And then Grover asks,
it shows,
why? Why would you pick me? And then you hear the rest of the prophecy. And then he says that I just really needed someone that I could trust, and you're my protector. Which I have to say, like, in this moment, when Percy says this to Grover, it just made me think of later in that episode when then you find out for the very first time that Grover was Annabeth's protector first. And I bet you that if Percy knew that, because there's like the exact reason why he didn't bring Luke is because he was like, listen, you told me you'd always be on Annabeth's side, and because I'm trying to rescue my mom and do the quest, I need like one person on the quest and one person on my side. Like, that's what I need.
So he might not have picked Grover.
But he didn't know that Grover was Annabeth's protector first, so when it came down to it...
I think overall, though, Grover is like almost like his emotional support Satyr. You know, like, he just, like, it's the only thing from the real world or the world before he came to the camp that he would have to have taken him with him no matter what.
I know, but I just found that, like, I just thought about when he finds out in that moment, you can see how betrayed he looks.
He's betrayed,
He's like, why didn't you tell me that you were Annabeth's protector? But the reason why Grover didn't mention it is because he failed on that quest. That Thalia died, and he's pretty ashamed about it. And so
you get that more in the book too, because he's so
you get that more in the book. Like he's
he doesn't want to admit it.
He always says their protector, or like there was a satyr with them. Like he keeps on mentioning himself as if it wasn't him.
I know. Poor guy.
And then it finally does come out, and it is.
Can you imagine twice going and like bringing back the child of a big three or the forbidden child, and both times someone dies, and not even really dies, because in both cases some god comes and saves them at the last minute, but still in a way they've lost him. I mean, that happened twice to him. That's so sad.
And this is something that Percy brings up to Grover. I think in a different book, Grover is really down on himself, and he's thinking that he failed maybe as a searcher, or he failed as a protector, and Percy's like, why do you think that you were the one that found Thalia and me? Like,
that's right. Like, you were the one who found the one of the forbidden children, or big
both of us. Like, and it's really hard to get us back to camp, and you, in your own way, succeeded twice. Like, something.
He didn't really succeed, but he never got Thalia back to camp. I mean, she's right there.
Spoiler warning, skip ahead 45 seconds to avoid spoilers about Book 2, Book 3, and Book 4.
That's okay.
She does come back, and she does go to camp. So, really, he succeeded.
Because he found the fleece.
And he's the one who found the fleece.
He was just finishing up 2 quests.
So, when you really think about it,
quests right there.
He did bring her to camp. It just took
a little longer.
Years or whatever.
She's such a great character. I cannot wait.
I know,
I also
so good.
Just realized that in this generation of like them being forbidden children, Grover brought back 4 forbidden children with Hades' kids as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, he also went and found them.
And found Pan.
But in that moment when he is feeling down on himself, Percy's like, why do you think you found us? Like, it wasn't just chance to find 2 of us when there's only 2 of us that existed. Like, you are a powerful satyr. You have real ability and potential and whatever. Well, it's true. It's very true.
Yeah, that was a little kind of side thing on Grover, but yeah. And then the very end of this scene, he says, I'll bring the best snacks.
Yeah. Which is so cute.
Which is good, because I do like that at least they're like referring to him wanting to eat all the time, because that was a big thing in the book. I'm still very sad that he's not eating aluminum cans. But that's okay.
I know you are, but he is still a foodie, and we get that later in this episode too, at Medusa's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now we are in Poseidon's cabin, and Luke joins him, and it gives him the shoes.
Yeah, and this is where we enter chapter 10 in the book.
Yeah. I want to say that the dead hanging skeleton fishes are super creepy. Not a fan of that choice of decoration. That is not in the books.
No.
In the books, I always imagined that it was like a whatever, not creepy like that. Unlike Zeus's cabin, which is described later with like a giant statue of Zeus
It looks like he's
staring
like
at
literally gonna
every
stomp
part of
on
the
you.
room.
Hippie Zeus.
It's not a creepy cabin. And
No,
the fish I'm like,
I mean, he's lonely,
God.
but you don't get the idea of it's so creepy. And it's also dark. It's another dark scene. I'm like, oh my goodness. I did notice there's like fishing nets and like he has the fountain in the middle. And if you look on the outside of the cabin, there's like little waves. I forget what you call those things up there, but it's like up above the pillars. There's like wave symbols, whatever.
yeah.
There's actually a fancy word for that architect wise, but I don't know that kind of stuff. Okay.
We're not Annabeth. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Luke comes in, and I can't remember now if it was the book or the TV show where he's like, oh, wow, that's a lot of money. What was that?
It was in the TV show.
Okay.
He was like,
I
wow,
wrote
how much
that down,
did
but I
they give
didn't
you?
write
And he
what.
said $200 and a bunch of these.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think they're from like Chuck E. Cheese
Or Canadian.
or maybe Canadian money.
And then you get a good look at them, and they're like kind of, you can see like the different monsters on them.
Yeah.
Or something. Like,
Monsters
I
and
think.
gods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I
kinda
think that
cool.
it's supposed to be gods are heads and monsters are tails. I think that they might talk about that in the book.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
I
I don't
think
remember.
way later on, but in the book,
Yeah, like way later.
when they talked about the coins, it just said monsters and gods. So it makes you think that some coins have monsters and some have gods.
But I feel like later on, like
They might describe it
might be in
better.
a whole different series, maybe. But I feel like learning that monsters are tails and gods are heads.
Wow, actually, this is exactly what it says in here. These coins were as big as Girl Scout cookies and had images of various Greek gods stamped on one side and the Empire State Building on the other. There
Oh.
was not monsters.
Weird. Okay, well there wasn't
then-
heads and tails.
Yeah, but it was
That they talked
basically
about,
gods. Probably the gods are the heads and
Yes.
the Empire State Building is the tails because that
Well,
would make sense with the regular coin.
Yeah.
The ancient mortal drachmas had been silver, but the Olympians never used less than pure gold. That's what it says because they're gods.
Yeah.
They're fancy like that.
Fancy like that.
Well, when you can create gold out of nothing, I'm sure it's easy.
Yeah. And this is the camp store is loaning all this. So they loan $100 to Percy. This is in the book. So it's
Yeah.
$200 now because, times have
Inflation.
changed. Yeah. And then the 20 golden drachmas. And we don't know how many golden drachmas he gets because he just says a bunch of these.
Yeah.
It almost looks like 20, but that's fine. And then it also says
I guess
that
there's no inflation in the monster
maybe there's
world.
inflation in that world, yeah. It says he also gave Annabeth and me both a canteen of nectar and a Ziploc bag of ambrosia squares, which we don't see in this scene because they aren't really talking about this whole ambrosia nectar. They're not making a big deal about it, which is fine. But it's going to come into play. It's going to have to.
Yeah.
So, unless they change things, which they do sometimes.
Yeah, I think that between Percy talking to horses and ambrosia and nectar, I think that if one of them had to be written out, you could write out ambrosia and nectar easier. Just saying.
Yeah, I just know of one specific scene in the next series that they definitely needed that.
Well,
But they could also not have them that badly hurt, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be very on brand for Disney to have them less hurt. So
Yeah.
That's true. I guess breaking a bone is not so Disney-like.
Nope.
Yeah, spoiler warning, skip ahead 45 seconds to avoid spoilers about Book 5 and Heroes of Olympus. To be fair, it's a very big plot line that in the 5th book, Annabeth gets almost fatally stabbed
Yeah.
protecting Percy. And but then they do have healers from the Apollo cabin tending to her and ambrosia and nectar, so I guess they could just have the healers.
Yeah.
But what
So-
about the scene where she's going with, to go find the spider lady and handle that problem and breaks her leg and is basically only surviving off of ambrosia and nectar?
Well, is that what you were
No, I was
referring
thinking
to?
Piper.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking about Piper,
Sorry,
too.
we're way in the next the next set of books. But yeah, it just, again, you really could rewrite those and not be as badly hurt. You really could write Ambrosia. But of course, we're big Percy Jackson fans. We want it all. We want it exactly. So we'll have to see what they're doing. And we don't
I
have
hope
to.
that they can bring it in, but I can see them taking it out without it causing too much trouble.
But I just
Yeah.
don't see why they would. It doesn't cause much trouble to have it in.
Well, we
That's
talked
my
about
hope.
that too. We talked about that. There's no reason why they couldn't
No.
have shortened a
There's
different
no
scene.
CGI or money needs to be spent on you. You can just make a whole bunch of
They
little.
literally look like little lemon squares.
Yeah,
and
just
stuff.
make a bunch of lemon
Brownies.
squares, or I was gonna say golden brownies, or whatever
And
you call those
lemonade
things.
with gold die.
It's super easy.
Yeah.
Super easy,
So maybe I'll just bring it up at another time. You know, like I said,
well, they're listening to this while they're making season 2.
every single producer, writer,
listening to us.
and Rick Riordan.
So if they would just know we would like Ambrosia and Nectar, thank you very much.
The budget
Please
is going to be enhanced.
Oh, it's going to
And
definitely
I'm sure that the episodes / season will be longer. So
they better be.
I think these things might be introduced in the next season.
We are just going to manifest a completely exact sea of monsters, and all these things are going to be handled.
It's going to be great.
What do you guys think about the fact that they do the whole exchange with the sneakers in the TV series in the cabin, where it's actually in the book, Luke runs out to when they're standing on the hill and is like, oh, wait, and brings the shoes.
I like the sacred moment of Annabeth, Percy, and Grover up by the tree, just the 3 of them. Not even Chiron, not even Argus. And then they head off to the quest. You see the 3 of them
sacred moment where Percy basically insults her tree friend.
A perfect sacred moment.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was very sacred. Okay.
But you know what I mean. Like, it's just the 3 of them. They're just about to leave. Percy's making fun of Annabeth's love for a tree. And, oh my god, when he says she met a pine cone's faith, a pine cone's fate.
Yeah.
I could not. I was like, Percy...
I know.
That was a human person.
Honestly,
you cannot say that.
And you know what? Actually, I have so many things to say about that scene that we have to wait because that's not happening yet.
Yeah.
Okay, but...
Anyways, so I think that it was fine, that change.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just makes more sense. Like, if I had a plan that hinged on giving someone a pair of shoes,
You're not gonna do
I
it
would
last
not
minute.
wait until they're on the border of the camp.
But it goes so fast at this point. Like, there's not a whole ceremony in the book.
Well, that's because Dionysus was like, I'm gonna kill you.
If
you
you're
better
still here.
You better freaking leave. I'm
That's
gonna
right.
come
They
back
just got
and kill
them out
you.
of
So
it
they're
really
like,
fast.
okay, let's go.
That's true.
No, but you're right. He probably would have done it if he could have in private. The only thing that we miss, which then has Percy carrying a box of shoes around, which is the dumbest. I don't even know where, but they should have they could have very easily done the conversation where he's like, where he gets the shoes and then he looks at Chiron and says, oh, I can't use these, can I? Because Zeus.
So the only reason, I mean,
Zeus would shoot him out. He can't go into air. He cannot go into the air.
But
So
Annabeth mentions to him on the bus that he can't fly.
No, that's Grover who does in the TV series.
Yeah.
Both of them talk to him about it.
And in the...
No, they're all 3 on the bus together, and Annabeth's like, oh, didn't anyone tell you why you can't fly?
And then Grover explains
Okay, fine.
it. Yeah.
Well, it's both of them, but whatever. And then, so that's, I guess, the reason why he doesn't wear it. But they don't even mention that the shoes don't fit Percy. Because in the book, we get the fact, 1, the shoes don't...
No, they don't fit Grover because he has hooves.
Shoot, you're right,
That's why they come off and,
he doesn't get
dragged down.
So they do explain it. They explain on the bus that he can't fly because the air is...
Yeah, but they don't say that that's with the shoes, too.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, you're right. So basically, when he's talking to Chiron about the quest before he leaves in the book, he's like, oh, so we'll just get on a plane. And then Grover goes, no, Percy, what are you thinking? Have you ever been on a plane in your life? And then he's like, no. And then Chiron says, yeah, because he thought it was poor. And Chiron says, Percy, think. You are the son of a sea god. Your father's bitterest rival is Zeus, lord of the sky. Your mother knew better than to trust you in an airplane. You would be in Zeus's domain. You would never come down again alive. And then right then, lightning crackles.
Yeah.
I love that. And thunder booms. So that's where he finds that out. So he finds that out in the TV series on the bus. But that's where he finds it out here.
Yeah, they're not super specific about... That's why he can't wear the shoes, because all of a sudden...
Where? In the bus or in the... No, they don't explain it at all in the TV series.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay, that's what you're saying.
But that's the reason that's, like, hinted at, I suppose, is that conversation in the bus is what explains the fact that in Medusa's lair, Grover's just wearing the shoes.
Suddenly wearing... No, they really do not make that clear at all.
We really should
There's
get
no way.
our friend that we talked to tonight on the podcast. We should call her up right now and be like, why did you think
Grover was wearing the shoes the rest of the time and Percy didn't wear them? Like, yeah, because that's not explained in any way.
Because I don't know.
That just sounds like a bad editor who didn't think of it and was like, this episode's too long and cut pieces out.
I mean,
maybe there was something that was said. I don't know.
Because you have to think about all the things that like in shows all the time. There's stuff that is shot, that is filmed, that is written, that just get cut.
Yeah, we know that.
So,
yeah, because they have to do a
amounts.
lot. Yeah, so it does make you wonder how they picked that. But
I know. I hope one day they'll come out with the extended scenes.
Yes, that'd be amazing.
Super fan.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't get, like, it made sense for, like, The Office TV show because they only had so much time. Like, but in Disney has as much time as they can use. They're not taking up a certain prime time of the...
I know, but they still kept the episodes in a general time
short
frame.
maybe.
I know. They must have just had thoughts about what they considered too long or what would hold the attention of the audience or whatever.
So I just don't think too much. I don't think a lot was cut out because I think anything that was good would have been kept in the episode because they've already filmed
I know,
it.
but maybe they just considered saying, well, then you can't wear the shoe. But that's like one line.
Either way,
I
it's either the editor screwed that up or the writers, somehow that just slipped their mind. But
Yeah.
I wanted to just finish. So in the book, he's like, yeah, I won't be able to use these, right? To Chiron. And then Chiron's like, no, Luke meant well, but no. So then he says, hey, Grover, you want a magic item? And then Grover's like, yay! So he puts them on, right?
Yeah. But we do find out that because he has fake feet in the shoes, that, all shoes don't fit him that well, which is why he normally can't do lots of, running around.
Yeah, it doesn't tell you in this
mortal
part. I
world.
think that's maybe later. You're probably right. But
But,
Yeah.
I mean, that's why at the school that he was at, Yancey Academy, they thought he had a muscle disorder, but that's just because he can't... It's hard for him to move easily in the fake shoes. But in the TV series, all the time he's just walking around with shorts and no shoes, and you just know that the mist hides it.
I thought that in Yancey Academy, the reason why he thought he had a muscle disorder is because goats' legs bend differently. It looks like his legs are messed up, even if he
It
has no
doesn't.
legs.
No, his legs looked normal to Percy. The only thing was that, like, he walked kind of funny, like he was limping a bit, and he had a slip that excused him from PE for life. But then Percy himself was like, but you should have seen him run on...
Day.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just that, he can't do a lot of things with the fake feet.
shoes.
And the thought is if they slip, that the mortals would then see his foot.
How do you know
we
how
do
much
learn-
mist is so completely...
I know. We learn, way in a different series.
Maybe they would have thought he had like a metal foot and made fun of him and just he didn't like that. I don't know.
Yeah. But no, I think that they don't know, because in Percy's world, they think that they need to hide the mortal... They need to hide the magical stuff from the mortal's eyes, and that the mist might not be that powerful. But then in Magnus Chase, we learned that the more wild you look, the more crazy something is, the better the mist has to hide you. So the best thing to do is to let it all out. Let out all the crazy.
And they'll just see something else.
And then I'm pretty sure
that's just-
Percy is like, oh, that must be why all the monsters have such an easy time getting hidden. And it's like, yeah, because they're giant
they just needed
monsters.
a human who couldn't see through the mist. They could just survey. Like, what does it look like?
Okay, what is
now?
this?
Yeah, what does this
All right,
look
now
like?
what
Okay,
is
good.
this?
Now what is this? They just needed to have this human.
Do you think Luke did that? Like when he had all of his all those human servants working for Cronus's army, he was like, "Okay, I have questions now." Like he pulled one of them aside. And
Like, what does this look like when I do this? Okay, good.
Well, what does
thanks.
this
Just
sword
wanted to
look
know.
like? What does
Yeah.
this scythe look like? Okay, what does this coffin look like?
That's hilarious.
What does this random normal guy look like?
Okay, the only thing I wanted to say on this, the last thing I wanted to say on this was he explains that in the cabin they show the shoes, and I think are they like Converse?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't think I had ever an imagination for what the shoes were exactly, but I like the way they made the. He says Maya, and the wings come out on either side.
One wing for
One
each
wing on
shoe,
either side.
and it was like made out
I don't
of
know
laces.
how much, but scientifically that works. But yeah, but I like that.
Oh,
but I
no,
did.
magic, whatever.
Yeah. I did. Oh my gosh.
In the book, what does the shoes look like? Does it describe what the wings look like?
Because I always pictured them like an image on the side of the shoe, like normal shoes have like images on them sometimes.
Yeah.
And the wing like lifted up from that. I never imagined the laces becoming a wing.
Yeah, that definitely was not described, the laces becoming a wing, but what was described?
So when he shows up with Luke, he says he handed me the sneakers. So hold on. Luke came running up the hill carrying a pair of basketball shoes. So basketball shoes are definitely more sneaker.
Not Converse.
Not Converse. You don't play basketball in Converse, I'm sure. And it says that the white, well, I don't know, not professionally.
No.
And it says the white bird's wings sprouted out of the heels. So it is different.
So is there
sprouts,
one
though.
wing from each heel?
No, because no, I get the idea of like a set of wings on each heels, but it doesn't.
Me
actually
too, but it
explain.
doesn't say.
So it says white bird's wings sprouted out of the heels, and then it says the shoes flapped around on the ground until the wings folded up and disappeared.
I don't know. I
it's
always
not an
pictured
image,
one
then.
wing, but you guys got two, so I really...
So you pictured one on each
Well,
side.
I imagine two
Huh.
on each side, but now that I'm remembering it says on the heel, now I think it's one. Like one on each heel.
Interesting.
Because when you look at old depictions of Hermes, his winged shoes have a wing on the back of it like a fin.
Yeah, and it's one wing on each shoe.
Yeah.
So that would be correct.
Okay, so then this was the other thing I wanted to say about this, just to end on a sad note a little bit. So, Hermes gave him the shoes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hermes gave Luke the shoes.
Yeah, and we know from future books about Luke's mother, which we don't have to say anything to, spoil anything. However, Maya, that word, is the Greek goddess of mothers, of motherhood.
Huh.
So
He
his
gave him a pair of
shoes
shoes where you
have a
to say-
password that's like basically about mothers,
Mommy!
nurturing mothers, of which his mother wasn't, as we know, like so good later on. Like she wasn't doing so well.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was kind of sad. Why?
That is-
Why? I mean, she could have put anything on that shoes. Why was it the Greek nurturing mother?
Yeah.
To be fair, his mom loved him a lot.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that her mind
If
was
Hermes
fractured.
knows anything about his son, I don't think he wants his dad giving him a pair of shoes that's supposed to, talk
nurturing
about a
mother,
nurture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems mocking.
It does seem mocking. Anyways, I thought that was just kind of
Yeah,
weird.
no, that's a good
Because I was
point.
like, what is Maya? You know what I mean? Like, I never thought about that before.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like grow or something.
Yeah.
Or fly.
Okay, so now we go into our questions for the hosts or the listeners, because the listeners can all answer these questions too. Do you have one?
Yeah, so if you were given a magical object to help you on your quest, what would you want to choose? It can't be, one of the ones mentioned in the book.
Can't be one of the three that they have.
Yeah,
But it can be any other magical objects mentioned in the book.
whatever. Sure.
What do you think, Sean?
I would immediately go for the cornucopia. Cause
Oh my
Oh
gosh!
my god.
That's not fair.
you asked me to go first, okay?
You can have the cornucopia.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking I want the knife that shows you things are
Catoptris.
going to happen. What's it called?
Catoptris.
Catoptris. Like, it
Oh my
kind of
God.
gives you
I
the
would
future.
never want that
No,
one.
I'm good.
That thing, terrifies
That's scary.
Because it's
Maybe I'll
specifically
just stick
meant
with
to
the
show you
cornucopia
just
then.
the bad.
me. Oh,
Okay,
I know what I want.
you got-
I
what do
want
you
the
want?
shield that someone has in the last book where you can, swipe and you get, real-time images from different parts of, they could see different parts of Manhattan and they were, watching the army. They were like, there's Brooklyn Bridge. There's...
Wasn't that the maker of the labyrinth? Wasn't that Daedalus?
Daedalus.
Daedalus.
Daedalus. There we go.
Daedalus.
Wasn't that Daedalus that was doing that?
No, this
No,
is in
he
the
was
last.
dead.
He's been dead.
No, okay, no, but he's dead in the
Yeah.
5th. This is the very last book during the last battle. And
They just had something
No,
that
but
showed-
you're not wrong. It came off of her laptop that she got from Daedalus.
Daedalus.
Oh, we're gonna have to figure that out. well, we've said it
It's a
5 different ways so far.
Instead of showing the future, the knife, it's showing the present time. It's like a camera.
Yeah. So we have our magical objects, and anyone listening to this, you're welcome to send us a message or comment on the episode.
Yeah, create your own magical object. We all went for the boring options.
No, do whatever you want.
Don't do whatever you want. I also wanted to mention, though, because I forgot to say this earlier, that in the TV show, we do learn how they pronounce Thalia's name, and it is Thalia.
Oh,
Thalia.
good to know.
Not Thalia?
Not Thalia, not Talia, not Talia. It's Thalia.
Okay, cool.
The first A is ah, and then the last A is and the I is pronounced E. Thalia.
Okay, Thal with a th sound.
Yeah,
okay,
Thalia.
good. And
That's
then
how Annabeth
I
says it.
totally forgot this. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say, at this point on the book, in the scene where they're just about to leave, because that's where we are in the TV series as well.
Sure.
Well, okay, fine. I guess we go into that. But still, Chiron is this is the time where he gives them Riptide. This is the time where he explains the mist. And this is the time where we learn why there's no cell phones.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyways, that's all happens in the book. They don't explain anything about cell phones at all in the TV
No,
series
but
at all.
yeah, Percy's like, let's go find a phone to call camp.
And they're just
And
like, we're not
Annabeth's
going to
like,
call
no,
camp, but it has
but
nothing
that's
to do with
all.
why you don't.
Yeah.
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 Because I assume the TV scene out when they're outside. Oh, I just had that as a separate scene, but that's okay. That's okay. I think I just wanted to say that because to me that was all part of the whole like the shoes being brought over and all that. 'Cause that was the whole conversation.
It's hard because
it was hard separated. To split that.
Yeah.
Because it was so different in the TV series. So there you go. I'm done with my notes on that section.
Okay, good.
Good.
Well, follow our Instagram at Camp Comparisons. We usually ask our fun question on there, and that's a good place to reply.
Yeah.
And if you have longer thoughts or want to create a magical object that you want to describe in great detail, email us at campcomparisons@gmail.com.
Totally. And please talk us up and tell your Percy Jackson friends, tell them to listen to our episode. And we also really do want feedback. Let us know what you like. If there's things you'd like us to add, segments to our podcast. I mean, they're kind of long, so maybe not.
Maybe more guests.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you have a Percy Jackson friend who's only watched the TV show and not read the books and really wants to be on a podcast, email us. We want someone to talk to about certain things that were just TV show related and not book related.
Exactly. Okay. Until next time.
See you at camp.
Bye.
Bye.